Yes, good afternoon, everyone, or good morning, everyone, to those of you that are in North America. Welcome to our seminar or web meeting all around what we call the next level of or next era of supply chain visibility, namely the deployment of IoT devices to track not only location, but also temperature and other environmental influences that may have an impact on your supply chain and on your shipments. To just tell you a little bit about Orchestra. Orchestra was founded by myself, Heiner Merman, in 2018. And the whole idea was to enable shippers with a technology that covers truly the end-to-end. So all the way from managing purchase orders to booking shipments, to giving you all the visibility that you need with all your flows, product flows in transit, coupled with the analytics that you need in order to drive performance of your supply chain, and making things like communication and document management more efficient. So we deployed those kind of capabilities on our platform as well. And in the last year or so, we've gotten much more deeply involved in IoT devices to give you the next level of visibility and performance and really control over your supply chain that you need and give you the security as well. So in terms of overall capabilities, so we're focused on execution. As I said, PO visibility, shipment booking, all around visibility, analytics, and then collaboration. And we are connected to most of the major carriers and major freight forwarders in the world, and are able thereby to really digitize your supply chain and your logistics. So today's focus is primarily around IoT devices, where my colleague Tibor has developed quite some expertise during the last 2 years, and he's taking over now to explain more. Over to you, Tibor.
Thank you, Heiner, and welcome everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the globe. So a little bit talking about the IoT, what it is, and we all know that this is the shorter version of Internet of Things. And I remember when I was much younger and innocent, we were talking about that the fridge will tell us when we should order beer. Today we are a little bit far away that, of course, we are still using this useful functionality. But then we need to think about how can we collect the data and how can we have real-time information about our shipments and about the healthiest of our supply chain. The main goal using an IoT system, and first of all, what I would like to mention when we are talking about IoT, we are not just talking about a device or a connectivity or a SIM card or whatever, but we are talking about the whole ecosystem. So the device itself is doing nothing else, just providing you the status, the data. You definitely need to have a connection, and you need to have definitely need to have a platform where you are able to collect all the data. And as you may know, you have millions of data minute by minute. You need to have a platform where you are able to collect the information and being able to use it on your own. So we can switch to the next slide. So what we can see that how we are solving visibility in the past. I'm in logistics, IT, almost 20 years. Kids are growing. I'm not became old. And what we've done in the past, we were tracking the shipments manually. I remember when I started, we were always using the data and fill it in an Excel sheet. And sometimes when it was an urgent, of course, we were sitting in the dispatcher office and calling the driver, hey, where are you? Then the digitalization era was started. Then we built some in-house solutions. So we decided, okay, now we are integrating the trucks and everything. But at the end of the day, we realized that this is so small portfolio, and we needed to invest in visibility software. The visibility software was a really advantage and a really huge technical step, something like 5, 6, 7 years ago, when the software, the visibility providers started to connect the GPS providers of the fleets of the vehicles, but that was still not enough. And we learned that we need to be in the past few years, we learned with my customers, with my partners, that we need to be the owner of the data, because the source data was so unuseful, to be on a polite way, that we needed to be the owner of the source data as well. So we started to implement IoT tracking devices and bypassing several issues with that. And this is the focus where we are going to talk today. So a little bit about the devices. Of course, we have million type of devices, as well as we are able to create own device. But generally, what we can do, we can create real-time location tracking via GPS, and we need to have a connectivity which is more like 2G, 4G, 5G connection. Of course, internally in the warehouse, we can use Bluetooth beacons. And of course, we can connect to the wireless networks. What we can do is always not just tracking the shipment location, but we can also track the temperature, humidity, so other stuff. For example, we can set up an alarm system if somebody is opening the vehicle, or we can set up an alarm system if somebody is opening a container, then the light will jump up. Also, of course, we can customize the signal, the frequency, and with our connectivity partner, we can cover globally. And of course, one of the key points was always the battery life. We are trying to find the optimal way based on the customer requirements. We have some batteries for a few days, up to 5-6 years, and of course, we have also rechargeable solution. I see a question here. How do we get data from the IoT sensor in a system that makes sense of it? The fixed portal or wireless connection? Let me be just a sales guy. It depends on the requirement. Normally, the IoT tracker, as a basis, the connection is with 5G or 2G. Depends on different requirements. So we are using cellular, and also we can, if we are talking about in a warehouse or in-house location, then we can use the wireless network. So in a nutshell, and really trying to create the benefits of the IoT devices, but we don't have just 6, we have 600, 6,000 and the benefits of that. But first of all, the control. This is what I mentioned, that we learned that we really need to be able to believe the source data, means that you're controlling the source of your data from the very first minute. We have a real-time tracking, so with GPS, we have a meter level location, as well as we can set up half a minute, 1 minute, 2 minute update. We have, this is one of our case studies, the thief and loss mitigation, means that when we started the whole IoT project, we realized with one of our partners, one of our customers, some of the containers disappear with a huge number of value, and some of the regulations were not kept by the drivers. It is really easy and fast to deploy. Normally, you just receive the device, put it in the vehicle, and turn it on. It's really strong and important that we have a compliance on that. Is that the IoT devices and we are using a European network and European provider. They are fully in line with GDPR and fully in line with any kind of regulation. And of course, the improved data insights. So your decisions and everything will be informed immediately, and not just on a vehicle level, but we can talk about different assets like returnable packaging, crates, or pallets, or shipments, or even item level we can manage. So in this schematic picture, what I mentioned that previously, before orchestra, we had the knowledge that the ship has been started, the shipment has been started, there is a delay or not. We are a little bit in the gray zone, but we have just an information that the goods has been arrived to the destination. And with the usage of orchestra and the IoT devices, we have a more precise detailed information about the statuses, about the conditions, and about the exact location of the shipments. And also you can have the estimated time of arrival updated in every minute or every second minute based on the requirements. And just a little bit, this is also answering the first question, that what is the digital value chain, how they are working. I mean, there is a device which normally you turn on and off, and with a barcode or maybe or more like a QR code, you are just simply connected to the device identification number to the dedicated shipment. The digital connectivity is up and running immediately, and you will see everything, and everything will arrive to the orchestra visibility platform. And then you can make a decision. So if this is the only information you need, you can send it to your enterprise resource system, or you can use it as well as the machine learning and streamline and analytics, as well as we can use the data for the future to update your present processes. So mainly right now we have 3 types of standard tracking devices. That's really important to mention, that the tracking device can be personalized. So based on the requirements, we have the possibility to build a tracking device, but we have a few standard types, of course, because it's also a price point. We have the bacons. It's quite slim and thick, and it's so small you just put it in a box or whatever. We have the coin. This is quite slim. We have stickers, labels, and we have also devices which is not larger than the half of a standard mobile phone. Of course, the size depends on the battery type and the battery validity. So for a bacon can run a few days. The device can run for 3 weeks, up to, as I mentioned, there are some rechargeable solution, and there are some type of rechargeable solution for 5-6 years as well. Are there specific IoT devices manufacturers you are most using? Yes and no. I think this can be a separated question, what we can discuss. Feel free to, I think you can find my contact details, or we can connect, and I can discuss with you this later. Okay, so generally where we are going back to the presentation, when we are providing the IoT devices, and then we suggest to use an IoT devices, first of all, when you have a high value product, and if something happened with that, this is a huge loss. Then you need advanced level visibility, so you don't need just that the shipment has been left the building or the shipment has been started the route, but you would like to have a total control during the transportation process, especially when you need to provide just-in-time supply chain management, where every minute is really important. Sometimes when you need to improve the customer satisfaction, because the real-time information is making you be proactive instead of reactive of any kind of incidents. We are always mentioning, when we are talking about asset management, as I mentioned, that the rental assets or the reusable packaging is always a high value in the books, but at the end of the day, you don't know where are your crates. It's really massive and should be, for example, for the supplier, but you have the 1,000 pieces in stock on the other supplier. And where we learn what are the most important is the multi-level or the multimodal transport. Multi-level transport, in our understanding, when your carrier is using subcontractors, friends, and etc. So you don't know who is the exact carrier who is going to pick you up. And the main advantage here, that you don't have to have a connection with the real-time visibility provider, is not able to create a connection immediately, but with the usage of the IoT device, You just give it to the driver or just put it in your package, and it will be tracked immediately. And when we are talking about, of course, multimodal transport in the normal environment, you have to have a connection to the road transport as well as to the sea or rail or the sea or rail or whatever. Normally, when you install a device, you can use just one tracker and everything will run automatically. We have another question. Can you provide examples how business have used IoT to identify and address potential risks? I think this case study is one example for that. The requirements was to have real-time tracking on shipment level, including the orchestrated SQL level data visibility. So we are not just delivering the data where are the goods, but we are also delivering what is in the container. Proactive notification in case of unexpected route or parking. It was a high-value goods, and there was a pre-agreed and already defined parking slots where the truck is able to stop. And if there was a deviation on that we needed to send an alert message. So, for example, that how to prevent the potential risk when the truck was not standing more than 30 minutes in a dedicated place, which was already predefined in Orchestra platform. We sent immediately an alert message to the security officer of the LSP. And of course, even every event was tracked in the Orchestra platform. For example, if there was a shock or if there was a high humidity during the transport or something like that. So the benefit was that we are protecting the shipments with up to 8 million euro value. That was more or less the saving because previously some of the shipments has just simply disappeared. And just another advantage was, it's not in this slide, but the another advantage was that we were able to track if the shipment was disappear as well. So the police can be sent that hey, please have a look at that. The on-ride time delivery improved, really strongly improved. The return of the investment was more or less in 4 months, and we reduced the theft to 0. So immediately we started to communicate together with the customer that there will be a tracking device, and already the information on the market was that, okay, we shouldn't take care of this customer again. She shouldn't take care of this company because they are already tracking the transport. So decreased additional costs like extra parking fees, extra routes. As we had already the route optimized, and everything was predefined in Orchestra. Whenever there was a risk of deviation of the route or a risk of deviation of the parking, the system was immediately sending the alert message. Another question, what kind of cost saving can I expect when developing IoT versus standard visibility through partner data? Well, I mean, first of all, I don't think that the cost is the biggest difference here. The biggest difference here is that, as I mentioned, you will be the owner of the data from the very first minute, so you can believe the data. Sometimes you receive the data from the visibility provider, which is not so accurate. So in that case, you will be able to believe the data what you receive. The other one, what kind of cost saving you can expect? The estimated time of arrival is always valid, so you don't have to pay any additional cost. For example, when we are talking about building industry, normally you are delivering your goods to the dedicated location when the workers are waiting. So a high-level ETA, estimated time of arrival, is really requested. Because if you know that the truck will not be there today or tomorrow, then you are not allocate resources there, special forklifts or people or labor or whatever. Any more questions from? When you look at the fertile-like flowers to be sent to the shop from a farm, the IoT device is only used once. is pricing of stickers therefore attractive for this type of business? Everything can be managed. So the question is more like the collection for back. I mean, when we are talking about flowers, then the IoT device is not just the AI. It's not just to measure the location or send you the ETA, but also checking the humidity and if the flower is having enough water, if the quality is still good, first of all. So when we are talking about yesterday I was in a conference and that was one of the examples that when the producer, the farmer, he put all the flowers in the shipment, they are using a small beacon and they are shipped one full truck of containers, send it to the so-called distribution centers in the Netherlands. And this is really important to not to have too warm environment there. And the IoT device was more like to check the actual condition of the transport. So from that perspective, the cost saving and how to say the additional cost was much better than opening the vehicle. And there are a lot of not so nice roses what you are not able to sell and bring home to your wife. Can you replace the visibility software with a tracking device? Yes, if it's orchestra tracker device, of course. As I mentioned, that when we are talking about IoT devices, we are not just talking about the tracker itself, but also the whole ecosystem. So normally you will need a platform, which is, of course, our suggestion is to use orchestra platform for that. And the IoT and the present visibility software and using orchestra tracking device with our software solution is much high level and much more advanced and accurate. Easily you can switch from 1 minute to another, and of course you will have a lot of other possibilities. Just if you go back a few slides, then you, as I mentioned, the multimodal shipment and also the multi-level carrier shipment is can be tracked. When we are talking about multi-level carrier shipment, normally people are trying to find the cheapest transport price per kilometer. And this is possible to track for each and every transport on that. Can you explain how you get data from shipments and route? Is there cell phone signals all the time? Are you projecting from GPS tracking to the vessel? Okay, let's separate it. When we are talking about road transport, of course, GPS it's a one-way communication. So GPS is just giving us the signal that here is the exact location. And of course, we have a huge coverage, global coverage, with a global IoT provider. And of course, the cellular phone in 2G, and if it's not possible, then 4G, sending the signal back to the platform, that what the GPS data is collected. When we are talking about a vessel, of course, it's a little bit more robust and advanced solution. We can set up, normally we are proposing 2 ways. First way is to put a beacon for each and every tracked container. And we are creating some with a gateway, which is not inside the vessel, of course. Or the secondly, we have a robust tracker ID for that, a huge one, which is inserted outside of the container and sending satellite signals directly. Can you explain what the orchestra platform gives me with IoT devices that I cannot achieve with standard IoT or asset tracking solution? Well, I'm not the kind of guy who likes to say positive things for myself, but generally the main advantage, and this is what when I'm presenting orchestra platform itself, then I'm always saying that this is our experience. So everyone at the company is coming from supply chain and logistics. That means that if you are going to an IoT provider, they are more like focusing on connectivity and more like focusing on, for example, connectivity or labor worker or security. And this is where Orchestra is one of the unique companies who are really taking care of the IoT usage in supply chain, not just as another product, but we also have the whole overview of the bionic supply chain setup. So it's not just that if you go to an IoT provider, you will have a perfect connectivity and you will have I don't know, a tracker dashboard, but you will not be able to have a supply chain management focus information there. This is exactly what the unique advantage of Orchestra. I'm always mentioning that our unique selling point is our people. So Heiner is in this in the supply chain and logistics since 20-something years. Myself here is 20-something years, and I'm always mentioning that our company is quite young because we've been founded in 2018, but we have more than 250 years of experience. What are the setup costs and maintenance for the implementation of such a system? Different case by case. Yes, Heiner? So I mean that when we are talking about setup cost and maintenance, this is always a separated discussion. Case by case can be different. Normally, we have an implementation cost, and of course, we have a cost of the tracker device, and we have a usage fee for the platform. Can you share some example of where AI analysis does things good data analytics cannot? You want me to spend the whole night here? That's fine. Actually, that for me, the whole AI thing is quite funny and interesting. What AI can do and what AI cannot, because everyone, when I'm starting to discuss with somebody about AI, I'm always asking, what do you mean understand that? What is your understanding about artificial intelligence? That normally that some people is talking about ChatGPT, some people is talking about incident recognition in cameras, etc., etc. Good data analytics can do a lot of things, but the main difference between data analytics and let's keep with IoT devices with the platform is more like the timing. I mean, you can use data from the past, or we can talk about 24 hours or whatever, to analyze it, and being able to predict the future on a level. But with the IoT devices, you are able to react and proactively and immediately based on the changes. Heiner, you wanted to add something?
So our business is supply chain orchestration, right? So the tracker, for this tracker product is one product in our portfolio of capabilities. So if a shipper is looking to add trackers in, say, 30-40% of the shipments, we can provide visibility and create visibility either through integration to their service providers or getting visibility from third-party data sources to give the complete picture. So the real USP with us is that we're integrating different data feeds to give the overall picture. And that's the main difference. If you only need devices and that's all you need, shippers can go to IoT device providers directly as well. So that's the main point.
Okay, thank you, Heiner. The new question about how long does it take to deploy these devices and get up and running with Orchestra. We already have a living connection. So we are not using several IoT connectivity providers. We are using just one, which is one of the largest in the globe. And normally, we just need to integrate within 2-3 weeks after the kickoff meeting. We are able to provide you the exact visibility. You can start it with some few pieces for testing. Then we can learn from that and fine tune the system. But in 2-3 weeks, you can have a living system. The question is more like that. From the tracker side, we are having the data connection ready. From the customer side is more like the question is the integration. Several times we face that they are using different kind of ERPs in different locations. Secondly, they doesn't have a kind of data collector or a BI tool already. They need to. So the question is more like in the implementation is always in the customer side. I mean, of course, we do it and we are supportive in that topic, but the connection with the IoT device. I mean, I have some samples on my desk. I can turn it on and see in orchestra within few minutes. It's a really nice question. How does IoT come into play with bulk cargo? Or is it not a use case? Yes, it is. And as I mentioned, that the devices can be personalized. So when we are talking about bulk, for example, we are talking about liquid bulk, petrol or LNG or something like that. We can also create a measurer, and the IoT device can keep the measurement and send you some information about the level of the goods. For example, when we are talking about a petrol station, you can easily install the sensor for the what's the name of that? For the tanker, which is underground, to see and having the real-time information about the level of the stock. Or when we are talking about bulk cargo, then of course the temperature is really important. Or when we are talking about grains or that kind of stuff, so which is not liquid bulk, then also need to measure the actual weight and need to measure the actual level of the goods in the cargo. And one more thing which is important here, I think we need to talk about the rail transport, that we are able to support the rail transport as well. Sometimes it's rail is a little bit special child in the family, but with the rail we have a quite deep experience, being able to calculate the number of the rounds of the wheels, or being able to check the quality of the rails and eliminate manuality. And answering the other question, is it a use case or not? Every use case is different. We are here to discuss about that.